You're turning this to something that it's not.
Turning what into what?
This whole
please?
situation.
I feel like I'm watching something I should not be watching. It is Supernanny Saturday, and this week we are watching the Benton Family. So grab your beverage and let's dive in.
Hi, we're the Bentons. I'm Amber,
I'm Greg.
and we have two boys, Rivers, who's 10, and Hunter, who's 8. Stop it, that hurts.
Hunter is a strong-willed child.
Stop it.
We have met the family, and we're not talking about toddlers this week. We're talking about an 8 and a 10-year-old that are physically assaulting their mother and then assaulting each other and laughing. And then all mom has to say is, stop it.
The boys fight on a daily basis.
Well, this is interesting because these boys actually seem to be enjoying the rough play with each other. They're both smiling, they're both engaging in that behavior. So then what do you allow them to do and not to do? What do you do as the caregiver? Well, I think at this age, especially, introducing this idea of nuance. It's not all good and not all bad. Let's take the example of friendly banter. You know, when you first get in a friendship, you're testing the waters, like how sarcastic can I be? And sometimes you'll throw some banter out there and it's not received well, and you go, oh, that person's not somebody I'm gonna have that friendly banter with. But then another friend thought it was a hilarious thing that you said and threw some right back at you. We modify our behaviors based on who we're around, and teaching our children that is going to be imperative. Check the body language. It looks like your brother is done with playing rough, and teaching them certain words like stop means stop. No means no. We've talked about that with the Quinn family, is don't use the word stop in a playful way. Teach your kids that yes, there is a time to be rough. You both seem like you like it. This is where you can be rough, and these are the limitations.
For my discipline techniques, I do a lot of yelling, which is not very effective at all.
Turn off your light and get in the bed now.
I make a lot of threats to the boys. You go to your room now. You're supposed to be in your room. Go to your own room. I'm just wore out.
Where's the follow through on discipline? So wonder why these boys just do what they want.
Just like Joe Frost said, where's the follow through? If you're going to use threats, which are not ideal, think of them as plan C. They're not your go-to in your parenting toolbox. But when you use them, you want your child to listen. If you've given threats in the past over and over and over again, and you did not follow through, then you end up being the boy who cried wolf.
Wait in here and then run around the house because it helps us run faster.
Physical strength and being physically fit, that is a priority. They work out with weights.
Me pushing them, I'm giving them that little extra edge. I do want my boys to be tough.
You getting tired already?
Just listen to Dad.
Rivers, you're faster, but you're not hitting strong.
What kind of perfection is he looking for?
I guess I disagree a little bit with Supernanny here. I think it's great that the father is doing a lot of these physical exercises with his children. They seem to have a lot of energy. They seem to be enjoying doing the boxing and things. I don't know, maybe she saw more than what we saw, but they seem to enjoy it.
Who, Rivers and homework. That is a very long, drawn-out process every day.
Rivers started to get the books out, and then before we knew it, we were into a spelling test.
Gigantic.
G-I-G-A-N-T.
I see.
There is no patience, there's no tolerance, and then it leads to him feeling so incompetent about doing any of his homework.
This hurts my teacher heart. Not only is this child not learning his spelling words, he's being made to feel bad that he doesn't know it, and it's just reinforcing this whole idea of not liking homework, not liking school. Just does a lot of damage. Some advice when it comes to spelling words, because I know that is still a thing and many kids will come home with spelling words, is look through the list with your child together and find similarities in certain words and then learn those words in groups. So let's say they have 3 words that end in "ok," and then some of the other words are something different. Then do those "ok" words first. Try to batch the words, because the way that our brains work is they're pattern seeking.
My mama says to my daddy, "Get out my life," and stuff like that.
Right, okay. So basically, Mummy and Daddy, they have their arguments and stuff like that.
It makes me feel like they're about to divorce.
The plot thickens. We find out that this child hears his parents overnight yelling, arguing, and then he says he's worried they're going to get divorced. And Joe Frost asks, well, have you heard that before? Have you heard that word? And he says yes. With the toughest of tough kids, they're still very soft on the inside. And it seems as if that's not being tapped into enough in this family.
Well, it's been an interesting observation day, to say the least. But at the end of the day, I'm able to read between the lines. That's my job.
Snack break. Have you ever had these? Oh no, I feel like I'm doing an ASMR video. They're spicy chips from Trader Joe's. I never thought I liked spicy until recently. My stomach doesn't love spicy, but I enjoy it. So let's keep watching.
So let's talk about discipline. There isn't really a discipline in this house. You talk a good talk, but there is no following through. There is no warning. There is no, this is what we expect from you.
You're right. The boys don't know what their consequences are.
And everybody has to learn that. There are consequences, whether they're good or bad, for whatever action you take.
Joe Frost throws down during this parent meeting, metaphorically, because children learn. Can you guys hear Spiffy? What are you crying about? Spiffy, you want to come say hi? All right, here he is. Do I smell like hot chips? We were just talking about how Joe Frost is throwing down at the parent meeting. You look so serious in your purring. I wish people could hear you purr. Speak into the microphone.
How do you feel when you have to listen to that?
It makes me feel like they're about to divorce.
And have you ever heard your parents mention that word before, divorce? And have they both said it, or has one parent said it?
It's usually my mama that says it.
Ooh, Joe Frost just showed the parents the film of the child speaking about the divorce. How are they going to take it?
You come in here in front of me and my wife and start bringing up divorce as if we're about to get a divorce. You're turning this to something that it's not.
Turning what into what?
This whole
please?
situation.
We have problems. And for you to sit there and say we don't, you're in denial. I mean, we are dysfunctional and nobody's blaming it just on you.
Okay.
So, you got anything to say?
No. Not a word.
Whew, whew. I feel like I'm watching something I should not be watching. It always feels like I have chills. It always feels uncomfortable seeing this. Because I do feel for Dad, I'll speak on that first, that these were not his expectations. They called Supernanny to help with the discipline of the children, and now we're talking about divorce. There were previous episodes where this has happened with Supernanny and other families. But Supernanny has a great point. If you want your children to be some way, you have to be that way. I hope Dad comes around.
The pair of you, you start to talk, then you talk over, you start to talk and you talk over. Nobody's listening. You talk. When this water runs out, then you start, okay? Listen to what the other person's saying. Hear it and then respond.
I'm so glad that water bottle edition went well. I felt like Dad might get upset and call it juvenile and then further defend himself and maybe even leave the house. But instead, he took the water bottle and applied it in the conversation with Mom back and forth. I'm assuming that Supernanny has the water bottle to teach children conflict resolution. And this is just a perfect time to say, just because we're adults doesn't mean that we are perfect. Perhaps you grew up in a family where the way that conflict was resolved was people screaming at each other, slamming doors, leaving the house, maybe even physically hurting each other, but at least emotionally hurting each other. And then you become an adult and you're trying to resolve conflict and you're struggling.
What kind of got me the most is it's not about me. You know, it's about my wife, and it's about my 2 sons. It's about the Benton family.
You mean you're not going to kick me out of your house?
I guess I'll let you stay a little bit longer.
Hooray! I don't know if I'm talking extra on this episode. I feel like this episode is going to be longer.
What do you mean you're done with this math?
How can you be done with it? The first one I looked at, you ain't done.
Is that supposed to be a 2 or a 3 right there?
3. What happened?
Well, I go back and I look up all the answers to make sure he's answered them correct.
It's not your homework.
Yes, advice that I would give parents when it comes to homework is do a once over and check for about 80% accuracy. If your child has 10 problems and 2 are wrong, the first words out of your mouth are going to be about those 8 problems. It's not going to be focusing on the ones that are wrong. You're going to go, wow, you know how to add fractions and you showed me how to subtract fractions here. And then you go, there are 2 that I circled if you want to take a look. And you let me know if you want me to explain them again or if you want to look over them again.
I'm not even gonna do it.
Okay, well, that's your choice.
Let me go downstairs.
Listen, when I come back up here, you better be writing those spelling words, and you better have all this stuff here picked up. Pick this stuff up now.
I will.
No, you pick it up now.
I am.
Pick it up now.
I'm going.
Or I'm fixing to add an hour to your timeout.
I'm going. Dang.
Stop talking to me like that.
Stop rushing me.
I'm not rushing you. I'm asking you.
You're saying.
I'm asking
do this
you
now. Hurry.
to pick your stuff
Get
up.
out of my eye.
If I could use a video to describe a power struggle, this would be it. I'm doing it. Do it now. And when I get back here, boom, boom, boom. To all of the caregivers of preteens and teenagers, the way to handle situations like this is to look at your child like, you go, excuse me? You know, how you're talking to me right now when I'm trying to help you is not okay. I'm gonna step out of your room. When you get back into the room, you're like, what in the world happened earlier? Are you okay? And then the child's like, yeah, I was just frustrated. Totally get it. You're frustrated because you hate homework and you hate doing this. I don't like making you do it either. We're on the same team, right? Then the child's like, and you're, the next time you talk to me that way, it won't be this warning. I'm here to teach you how to communicate with me. And if you are making a request, like, hey, Dad, excuse me, is it okay if I have 5 more minutes playing this video game before I do homework? Then that's cool. You can make a request, but how you were talking to me was not a request.
You have yet to get your grammar out and do your grammar work as you were told to do. Go get your grammar book now. Sit down and do your grammar now. I am tired of asking. Now. Go to your room. Now. Go to your room.
I'm trying to get you.
Go to your room.
What a mess. What a mess. What is this, guys? What is this? The point of consequences and the point of discipline and the point of teaching is so that your child will be successful.
This is what would normally happen. Are you all right there, Rivers? Are you able to do that? Yeah, you're all right there. Right. And what's that you're doing? Did I just break your concentration? Sorry?
Beautiful. And as you continue to do things like that, where you're giving your child space, then you can say things such as, hey, it looks like you're having trouble concentrating. Do I need to come in more often? Do you think you're good? No, Mom, I don't need you to sit next to me. Okay. And then you're good to go. Beautiful.
You can't describe it, how wonderful it is sitting out on a blanket and taking some pictures of Hunter and Rivers and talking about things that we don't talk about every day. And that's Rivers,
Look like a little peanut head sticking up right there. To have the boys out there, those are the kind of moments that you will remember.
What a sweet ending to the episode where Dad is now connecting with his kids, not just physically, but emotionally by pulling out some baby photos. Great thing to do if you feel like you've had a hard time with your kids. Pull up some photos. You know they're on Facebook, Instagram, wherever they are. Pull up some old things and just connect. It's a great way to diffuse a lot of the tension that's built up throughout the day. Let's see where the family is now. This was filmed in 2009. It says that despite mentions of a potential divorce because of their arguments, Greg and Amber remain together. Let's see Amber's Facebook, which is Mom's Facebook. Here's the whole family in 2023 at a graduation. Pre-anniversary adventures in March of this year. So they've been married 28 years. Congratulations to them. All three men dressed up with their jackets on. Mom in a beautiful dress, big smiles, wishing this family well. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.